Here we are then at the circuit of the Americas, and we are back to beat another pole position lap from the 2025 season. Now, as you can see, we are in the Red Bull, specifically in the VRC Formula Alpha 2025, skinned in a Red Bull livery. Now, we are debuting this car in this series for the first time, and we're going to see how we do now. We struggled, of course, with this car when we drove it for the first time. In the video, of course, I covered on the channel driving this mod, so go check it out, link in the top right. But yeah, let's talk about today's episode. Now, I've applied all the correct settings. We are running what's basically almost a laser scan version of the track. I'm also on the correct tyres, which is actually the C1. The hard tyre has a step, and then it's a step down to the medium. So the medium is actually a C3, and the softs are a C4. Now, another thing to note is the pole time. Verstappen went slower, yes, slower in the actual official qualifying and went faster in the sprint shootout. So today, in the event that we beat the official pole lap, we'll try and beat the sprint shootout. Now, the official time is a 1 minute 32.5, which is still going to be tough to beat. The shootout time was a 0.1, so we'll see how we get on. I think we may struggle to beat any time at the minute because this car was an absolute beast to drive the other day, and I think we'll struggle to even get a lap in, at least on these C1 hard tyres. So let's just see how we do before we even start, getting technical. So here we go, out the last corner, we're going to put into strat 2, and straight away we spin it on the power. Okay, we'll just turn around, pass through pit lane, and just go for a extra warm-up lap, because why not? So my wheel is now vibrating like crazy. Right, we're going to try again. We're going to make a few adjustments here to the brake bias. Also turn brake warming off. Let's just do a lap here, at least in recharge mode, and just see what we're looking at. So, underway. Let's get stuck in and let's try and get some sort of a baseline. I've got a flat spot already, and that is not going to help. Oh my god. I mean, we don't have to hit the apex at turn 1, as we saw with Verstappen's pole laps. This vibration is insane. Right, let's see. Does the car hold up through the S's? Bit more of a lift, and wow. We might just jump straight onto C3s, to be honest. Yeah, we're going to go straight to C3s. C1 is not going to work, at least not for my skill level. So we'll go for C3 mediums and go with those to hopefully get a baseline. Let's hopefully try and at least get a lap together up towards turn 1. Bit of a lock up on the way in. All good though. We find a bit more grip than I thought, and we get the car turned in. Right, heading into the S's. Let's see if she holds up on these. All flat so far. Then we take a little downshift. Bit of inside curve there. Bit of sliding on the way through. All good though. Watch this one. This one can really slip as you put the power down. This car is very, very throttle sensitive. We discovered this the other day. Into the hairpin we go. Oh, that's way too early. That's way too early. That lap was feeling okay though. Just want to try and get it over the line. Let's give it another shot. Come on then. Let's try and also just avoid those lockups as much as possible. You can really feel it as you go up the hill. Through turn 1. That was nice. That was a bit tidier this time. Definitely don't really want to be hitting the apex. You can kind of just drive around it and carry more speed. Now into the S's. All very fast through here. Want to just avoid the inside curb, I think, for car stability reasons. Force feedback is crazy strong, by the way, but I kind of like it that way. Over the top, try and stay within track limits. We have track limit or corner cutting penalties enabled. Right, just try and steer around that sleeping policeman. That and turn 1 of the 2 corners, so we don't really have to necessarily get the apex. Just try and brake late. Keep the corner speed high. And now we get into the very technical part where throttle control is going to be critical, and we're not very good at that with this car. All braking at the minute. Into the braking zone, avoid the sausage curb on the inside. A couple of small corrections as we head into the double right. Lots of understeer at the minute as we then go to the double left. Going to try and open this up. Cut under, ease on the throttle. This should be flat, no dramas through the triple right-hander. Try and stay a bit tight. Penultimate corner, blind entry. Bit cautious from there just to get the lap together. And now final corner, up to the line we go. Watch the traction. And there we go, that's the lap. We have 50 litres of fuel. Now that straight away will go down. We don't have the estimated laps, but I'm pretty certain we'll be able to run half of that and be okay without having any fuel trouble. Now for the aero, it's a tricky one, a tricky balance to find around this track. High downforce, I think, could be the way to go, though. No big changes here. I'm going to go down to the bias, which is a bit further down. Here it is. We'll try 56. It's the minimum, so we'll just try and see how it goes. Yeah, we're going to go for engine map. Now, this one is interesting because it controls the torque. I might just knock it into low to see if that helps with power delivery a little bit. We'll run, instead of recharge, we'll probably run slow or maybe race. We'll run race maybe for the lap and see how that goes for this one. Engine brake map, I will put a little bit more on. I'll go to 9. I do like a bit of engine braking. And then really, this is where things get interesting. So we were nowhere near overheating the tyres. The temps are looking pretty decent, so we can probably push this a little bit. So to my knowledge, more camber means more negative. So we're going to add some negative camber. So the front's already almost maxed out. So we'll see how that goes. In terms of tow, if you get it nearer to 0, that's better for tyre temp. So we want to add tyre temp. So we're going to go up a little bit. And then really elsewhere, I just want to bring the ride height down a little bit. That's all I'm looking for here. So I think we're going to go for a softer roll. But I mean, the front's already very soft, to be fair. But the rear is quite stiff. So we'll bring the rear down a little bit, which helps with traction. I can't find the ride heights. Elsewhere, all these settings are more for visual purposes, so it's not really important. So let's get back out there and try again. Lighting up the rears, out the last corner, but we're going to gain tons of lap time just with a bit of battery deployment already. Here we go. Bit too aggressive, I think, on the downshifts there, but little lock up actually doesn't go too badly into turn 1. We're going to be carrying some crazy speed through here now. I'm not sure if it's all going to be flat anymore. We're going to be asking a lot from the downforce package, and there it is. We had to kind of get out of it a little bit for caution and making it through in one piece. A bit of a wider line through here as we head over the top. That's nice. That's nice. The tyres in the car are working a bit better. Braking at the same spot as before, but automatically braking later because of the increased top speed we're carrying from the engine mode. Much better hairpin, and we're going to gain so much time down here. Look at this. Look at that. All that free lap time. 325 Ks as we now look for the braking spot. Try not to lock up too heavily and put a flat spot down. And now into the technical stuff where higher engine mode might hurt us on traction input a little bit, but I'm relying on that increased downforce to do the job. Trying to keep a little bit of throttle on as well. Alright, avoid that inside curb. Now a big send through here. We just hit the sleeping policeman there, all good though. Into the final corner, a little bit wide as we get some understeer, just try and keep it on track. Scruffy ending. We almost do a Leclerc. But we're down to 137.6. I've also had no rear locking, so I am going to move my offset back a little bit. Even with those small lockups, we're not actually flat spotting that much, to be honest. The car feels good, the wheel feels good. Vibrations are minimal. That was good for turn 1 this time. And even better on the exit. That was a very nice start to the lap. Tyres are still freezing cold, but we've got some sort of temperature from the 2 laps before. This time we take a much better line, knowing what to expect through there. Thinking now we get the confidence up a little bit. Watch this one. This one's very delicate. Oh, that was lovely. Right on the limit. Off the white line. Good start to the lap. Come on. Braking later for the hairpin. Trying to get a late apex. Turning in a bit later to focus more on the exit. And that's what I'm talking about right there. Going to use a little bit of the overtake or the E-boost override. Down this straight. Now spot the braking. Try and brake as late as possible. Back up your apex. Watch the exit. And now into the double rights and double lefts. Little caution short shift. Got our apex this time through there, that was good. E-boost on the exit. Right, a bit of time to find in this last couple of corners. Turning a little bit later there, avoid that inside sausage curb. And now the final corner. Still don't quite get the apex, but a clean exit here will gain us a lot of time. And there we go, 36.2. So now suddenly we're about 3 seconds away. So it's time for some soft tyres. The gurney flap is an interesting one because it would help with rear downfall. So I'm going to go a little bit more, which would give more rear downfalls and stability. So we may lose a little bit on the straight, but it will give us overall a bit more better balance. Engine brake is good. So we're going to go for race plus now on PU mode, which is a bit better, a bit stronger. I will lower these PSIs a little bit because we're not really having any temp issues. We're going to go to strap mode 2, slightly more powerful engine mode. And we're going to get stuck in. May use the E-boost override or the overtake button at times. Bars on 55 as well, by the way. Turn 1, turn in late. That's the line. You don't really want to get the apex. Avoid the bump on the inside. Much more consistent. Already up by a decent amount. Full send, come on. Nice and aggressive over the curb there. Probably cut a bit too much. So purple first. Over the top. Watch the exit. Right on the track limits every single time through there. But it's a really good start. Now we're starting to get the braking confidence. Bit of oversteer on the exit there. Have to catch a bit of opposite lock. We open it up down the back stretch. Let's see what the top speed is. Looks like about 325 again with these wings. Spot the braking. At the 100. Oh, avoid the curb on the inside. Small moment. And we just lose a small correction there. Just took me out of my rhythm entirely. We'll go around. We've got the fuel for a reason. So we'll go again. We'll just basically recharge for what's left of the lap. I can feel the vibration though from that spin. I think we've flat spot a little bit. Okay, actually the flat spot's not as bad as I thought. I think we're okay. Oh, just dragging the lock up all the way in there. We'll get a little bit of a gain on the exit, but not as good as the last lap. Oh, that was right on the limit for a corner cut there. I'm surprised I didn't get done for that. That was very, very generous. This lap's a little bit more ragged, but to be fair, we're not too far off what we were doing before, so it's looking okay. Braking super late this time through the hairpin. Clean exit this time. And we're back to where we were this time last lap. Right, let's try and get this braking spot sorted out. There we go, around the curb. Watch the exit. Purple middle, a little bit wide of the apex there. Trying to keep some throttle on as we make marginal gains through here. A bit wide of the apex there as well. Open it up through the triple rights. Try and stay tight to gain some lap time. Let's try and send it through here. Wow, that's so quick. Final corner needs to be worked on. There's still time to be found, and that's the apex for a change. Bit of opposite lock, but we improved to a 34.8. And that's our first banker on softs. Whew. We've lowered the front pressures. For the fuel, we're now running single lap fuel. Electronics, I'm going to run the strap one, which I've got down here. Basically, my e-boost is maxed throughout the lap, so we're going to be running power pretty much everywhere. I have some white zones, which is basically power reduction or baseline mode to basically watch out in the traction zones, which is what I'm aiming for here. So we'll see how that goes. Aero, I've put the front wing up by a click. I've also lowered or partially closed the cooling louvers to basically reduce drag, to hopefully have more straight line speed. I've also moved the brake balance back by 1. I want to try and see if that mapping helps a little bit. Then bias. We're going to run 56. We'll reduce that in the car to 55, which is going to work pretty well. Then elsewhere, I haven't changed anything on the diff. For now, I'm quite happy with those settings. The car is rotating quite well. So we go all the way down to power unit. I'm going to run mode push now, which is the fastest mode available. That's going to be really, really quick. Suspension alignment, I've also put the camber a bit more to the max. It's now maxed out on the front, and the rear I've left the same. In terms of other adjustments, I have found the ride heights. So it's actually the push-pull rod offset. They were already on minimum by default, so I've kept them there. I've chosen to not change them. But what I have done is lowered the rear roll bar some more, and the front as well. I've upped the torsion bars on the front because basically this is the wheel rate, which basically improves front end sharpness. So I'm kind of trying to increase mid-corner grip by reducing the roll bar, but I'm trying to keep the sharpness by increasing the torsion bar. So hopefully that made a bit of sense. Either way, on the rear, I've also lowered the torsion bar a little bit, I believe. Actually, no, I've kept it default in the end, but I have lowered the roll bar a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, fingers crossed this all works out. I feel we may even run out of battery, but let's see how it all ends up working out. Full attack mode then. Look at the lap time already. Got to brake early here. Still locking the fronts a little bit. Turn one's a bit all over the shop. But look at the lap time gain. It's 3 lap time. Oh, that was much better through there. That extra bit of front wing really helping through this first sector. And we're still gaining lap time on the straight because of the engine mode. So that front wing adjustment was basically a free change, a free tweak. My god, the force feedback is insane. 54 bias is working though. We're not locking the rears. That was really good there. We got the car stopped beautifully. Suffered on the exit, but look at that. We're already out of battery. We're already out. So the E-boost, way too much E-boost. We'll have to remap that in a bit. For now, let's get this lap done. We're still gaining time, so we know there's more time to find. Oh, that's well wide through there. Lap's just getting a bit wild. Has been a bit wild in general, to be fair, but got a little bit more boost to use as we race through the triple rights. Look at the lap time that we're losing here because of the engine mode. Oh, bit too early down the turning. Got away with it though. Got lucky. Final corner. Good traction to the line, and it's only a marginal improvement. We'll be using Strat 1 again, but with the reset default setting, that should hopefully get us over the line. So for the outlap, we'll basically run Strat 8, which uses nothing of nothing. Let's see how we get on with the battery this time. I think we'll still run out, but it should be a bit more organised. No need to override myself with the overtake. Just got to trust the Strat mode to do the job. A bit wide of the hairpin. Ah, off track. Ah, damn. Bit of a lock up on the way in there. A little bit deep. Probably a bit too deep, but let's push on anyways. I want to try and get an improved lap on the board. Right, big send through this one. This is where I want to try and gain some time. Ah, that's the one. It's 6th gear, not 5th. Just got to send it. I've just got to try and not hit the inside curb. Oh my god. Okay, track limits does work. Oh, damn it. The fact we gain time doing that is crazy. You can't go that wide. That was such a good lap. The track limits, you can see there, don't fully work because I went off out of bounds, but it didn't validate, but that was off. Ah, damn it. Oh, this corner's giving me trouble. This corner's giving me big trouble now. I just cannot see it. It's completely blind. Oh my god, it's such a fun car to drive. It's really, really biting me now that I'm pushing it on the limit. Okay, there's a lap I'm happy with anyway. 33.7. Finally got a clean lap together. I think the penultimate corner was within track limits, even though we bottomed out. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Oh, yes. Recovered all the time, so there's at least 2/10 in the lap. I've also changed my map modes for the battery, so we should have a little bit more by the end of the lap if all goes well. Oh, a bit of a slip and slide through there. No change to the battery, that's a shame. I want to see if the car bottoms out. Still sort of does. Still sort of does. I'm really happy with that. The last corner let me down, but that was a fantastic lap to put that together. We're a second off the sprint time, and we're 6/10 off the pole lap, but that felt so good. That bit of custom strap mode that we've done worked perfectly. Really, really nice. I'm debating if I go to max track grip. The extra 2%, would it get us there? Ah, damn, small mistake there, just not great. Bit scruffy. No. No. Right, we're going to try max track grip. Now, one thing to note, maximum track grip, optimal track conditions does not mean that wasn't the case in qualifying. In qualifying, there was issues with overall temperature, which I've also assigned to 31.7 degrees in the sim, and also gusts of wind, which I've also put to 20 kph. So I've added in those external elements. It's just the actual track itself, the grip level, is max. Oh no, too early. Bit too early on the turn in there. Oh, come on, that was so good. Okay, optimal track grip gives us a shot. That's beatable now. There was a couple of small errors in that lap. Little small errors. Some other parts were brilliant, like incredible. The strap battery is spot on now. I'm not going to make any changes on that. We're nearly there. Accidental double downshift. Oh my god, I absolutely nailed the penultimate corner. I was up and down. I was up by 2/10 at one point and I lost it. Oh, I just want to get this pole lap and go. I've been doing this for so long. I'm sweating. Oh no. Oh my god, I'm so close. Let's push this out of the way. There we go, thank you. I'm actually shaking. I thought that was the one. This car is incredible. finished. Done. Finished. I'll take that. I could go for the sprint, but I don't care. I've been doing this for over 2 hours now. I think I must be over the 50 lap mark between the 2 sessions I've done. I'm sweating like crazy, so I'm happy to just call it there. What a machine. Right, I'm not going to bother explaining or talking about the setup. Just pause the video and literally just take the information that I'm using and yeah, just apply it to your own setup, because I can't remember what things I changed, what things I didn't change, and I've changed so many little things as well that I can't fully remember. So yeah, just literally pause the video and take everything and apply it to your own setup, and good luck to you. I'm not too sure if I've done the right thing or the wrong thing with the setup. Hopefully I've done the right thing. Overall, I really enjoyed it, and yeah, that was a really satisfying lap. I'll also leave the strat mode on screen with a kind of more zoomed in image so you guys can see exactly how I used the output. Anyway guys, we leave it there. I'm absolutely buzzing that we got it in the end, and I think improving the track grip helped, albeit I don't think it helped that much. Like usually the 1-3% doesn't make that much of a difference. I just think the one thing that I found was I kept on putting the bias towards the rear to the point where we went to 51.2, and it was still just about manageable. We had a bit of rear locking, rear drifting at the hairpin just before the back straight, but it actually worked quite well to rotate the car. So I'd say that really gained us time because I was able to push the brakes more and more and more. Every single lap we found more time, moving the bias more rearward. So that was a massive help for me, on top of course changing the track grip. Either way, we got there in the end, really enjoyed it. I'll leave the car link down below, guys, the track as well for the track skin also, that'll be attached to it. And also my graphic settings, all the filters that I use, it's all linked down there. And I may leave some other stuff down there if I remember to leave stuff like setup and potentially strat modes. If I can do that, I will. Either way, guys, I'd appreciate a like on this video. Let's try and smash 1,000 likes. Subscribe for more. Comment below your predictions. Who's going to win today? And is the championship on? Let me know. In the meantime, a massive shout out to my channel members for supporting the videos and the content. Check out the 2 videos on screen. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. And it's goodbye from me. Ciao, ciao.